A woman and her infant son were trapped in a burning building with no way out. Flames surrounded them, and the smoke made it hard to breathe. Desperate to save her child, she kissed his forehead, held him close one last time, and whispered, "My love, survive." Then, with tears streaming down her face, she threw him out of the window, hoping someone would catch him before she collapsed from the smoke. A man standing below saw what happened and rushed forward, catching the baby just in time. He looked up at the burning building, but it was too late. The mother was gone. With no one else to care for the child, he raised the boy as his own. Years passed, and the child grew into a hard-working young man. His foster father worked as a security guard while he became a chef in the cafeteria of the same company. One afternoon, exhausted from long hours, he dozed off at work. When he woke up, he panicked. He was late for a delivery. Grabbing the food, he ran out of the kitchen and accidentally bumped into the company's boss, spilling soup all over her expensive dress. The boss's assistant immediately grabbed him by the collar and yelled, "You fool! Do you know what you've done? You should be fired for this!" But the boss, who had been angrily wiping her dress, suddenly froze. Her eyes widened as she noticed something, a birthmark on the young man's ear. It was identical to the one her son had, the child she had lost 20 years ago. Her hands trembled as she whispered, Daniel, is it really you?" Tears filled her eyes as she explained everything, the fire, her desperate attempt to save him, and the years of searching she had endured. But the young man backed away, shaking his head. "No, you can't be my mother. If you were, you never would have abandoned me," he shouted, before turning and running out of the building. That night, he sat beside his foster father, deep in thought. Finally, he spoke. "Dad, I met my real mother today." The older man's face fell. "So, you're leaving me for her?" His voice cracked, and his eyes welled up with tears. Daniel hugged him tightly. "Dad, don't cry. I know why you never told me about her, and I'm grateful for everything you did. I finally found my mother, but that doesn't change anything." Looking into his father's eyes, he smiled. "You will always be my dad." His foster father wiped his tears, pulling him into a hug. "And she will always be your mother, son. Forgive her. I have 2 parents now," he said, "and I'm never losing either of you again. Drop a heart if you like this story."